discussion about the future-proofing cybersecurity with and for AI and next generation services and automation. And it's gonna be 60 minutes. And then we are going to have an interactive quiz. And here is the prize that we already announced before, as we are going to have three winners. They will receive an Apple Watch or Apple Watches. And then we're going to have a very short period of time closing and to see if you have any other questions or suggestions for the future collaborations or future webinars. So firstly, I will give my manager Mohammed the time to talk about ILMAS and our partners then.
Thank you so much, Diana. Guys, we're so happy to have you again. And again, welcome to a new webinar of ours. And as always, we promise our webinars are always fun to have, and there is a lot to learn from that. Today it's even more exciting because we have some of the top technology vendors and service providers in the region, in the world actually. Some technology vendors that we were glad and happy to sign up as their distributors in the region and to work with them, start promoting their technologies and solutions, and then work with our end customers and resellers to start selling those technologies and providing these services. There are few unique things with those technologies and services that are even changing our business approach to how we address them. Like with Viettel, we came up with the concept of the MSSP of the MSSPs, an amazing initiative that we're driving in the Middle East and Africa, and where we support our resellers and we become their backbone to augment their services and to empower them to do technologies and to provide them with technologies, processes, and services that they might not be ready with. They may not have the talent to execute those services or run those or use these technologies. So we augment you. It's a new approach of how we distribute and use technologies. We have an amazing, lovely technology vendor that is leading the automated AI-powered penetration testing. They do amazing job when it comes, especially with your internal network, the way they have deployed AI power and they brought all of their experience over decades into such a wonderful tool named Ironwood Cyber. We're happy to have them with us. And also, I will also be always in love with AI and AI security and AI technologies. We're happy that we have a great technology vendor called PointGuard AI. We are bringing to the region the concept of AI governance, AI security, AI red teaming. And as you will see in a minute or so in my presentation, we have a lot of attacks that happened in 2024 and 2025 that were against AI machine learning algorithms. I will switch to my presentation, but before I go there, it's going to be a short presentation. We will spend most of the time talking to these great minds that we have today, and I'll give them the chance to introduce themselves so that I don't mess up the surprise. But before we go there, I want to remind you that please keep this webinar engaging. I see people raising hands now. It's too early to raise hands, but what you can do is you can engage by asking questions in the Q&A session, and you can ask questions in the chat. We'll be happy to answer those questions and address them. We will take your questions interactively. We want you to be interactive during the presentation or during the panel discussion. We will stop at certain times and then we'll take your questions, answer them. But anyways, it's an open discussion. We want you to engage and we want you to learn a lot from these great minds that we have today with us in this panel and this webinar. Great. So I think we're ready to move. Thank you so much for being with us. We have 57 attendees today. We're happy to have you. You are the ones that make our webinars exciting. Thank you so much. Special thanks to you guys. We will go to the presentation. So let me share my screen again. I also want to remind you that the webinar is recorded, so, which means that we will be sharing the video later on in case someone missed the webinar. We'll be also adding this to our YouTube channel. Please pay attention to the presentation and the webinar discussion because all of the quiz questions are from there. I can emphasize that a lot, but this gives you an edge and gives you like a head start. The questions are going to be addressed in the presentation and the panel discussion. So pay attention to that. We have 10 questions only, easy to answer. We have 3 winners today. The ones that score the top 3 scores, people will win each an Apple Watch. We want it to be exciting, so let us get started. And before I move forward with the presentation, I want to remind you that we are Logics. We're still there. The introduction of ILMAS doesn't mean that we're changing. No, we're still part of the winners team. So Logics is still there. ILMAS was established this year to bring focus to cybersecurity solutions and technologies. Logics will continue doing end user computing, digital experience, all the nice stuff that you guys knew about it, TCD, Tenzig, Liquidware, all the great products that you've been doing or buying from us since 2015. So Logics is there. But this year, we kind of want to bring more focus to the cybersecurity side, and that's why we had this organization, ILMAS, and would separate like the operation costs, and all of that to be able to serve you better and to be able to deliver what we promise and bring you great technologies like those ones. Today's session, as my colleague Diana mentioned, we will look at some evolving in my presentation, we'll look at some evolving cybersecurity threats, specifically in the MEA region. And we try to link and show you how all of these great technology and services vendors that we have today, the 3 of them, how they can help you mitigate and address those threats, challenges. We will look at the top 5 security risks in 2025. We'll look at how Ironwood helps, how Viettel helps, how PointGuard helps throughout the presentation and the panel discussion. A quick introduction to the 3 companies. I'm sure they will, when we start the panel discussion and when they introduce themselves, they are way better than I am when it comes to talking about them. But in general, Ironwood Cyber, they have an amazing AI-powered automating penetration testing tool that does a great job, like in 1 hour, kind of 5-day worth of work. They're leading that industry, and their platform is great in mimicking real life attacks and behaviors. So it does really deliver value when it comes to penetration testing. Viettel is the backbone of our Viettel Security is the backbone of our MSSP of the MSSPs initiative. It is the one that will be behind each one of our resellers, augmenting them with their services, with their technology. They have an amazing SOC platform that could be deployed on premises or on cloud or in hybrid configuration, with everything you can think about when it comes to SOC services, including NDR, including incident response, including compromise assessment, and all of that kind of amazing stuff that they do. And PointGuard AI is a unique technology vendor in the AI governance space. They do provide you with the tools that help your organizations discover, discover machine learning algorithms and all of the AI assets, including data sets and others, and tools that being used. They help you with the testing against vulnerabilities and challenges, and they help you with real-time security to within your AI applications and machine learning algorithms. So the top five evolving cyber security threats in the Middle East and Africa, and these are from these like they summarize what happened from in year 2024 and year 2025. We see a huge rise in AI-powered attacks, especially chat bots, especially deep fake. There are like at least 3 to 4 cases that I'm aware of in our region where deep fake was used to to have scams to really steal money and fool some of the banking systems and other even some other utilities and critical infrastructure. Chatbots are being used to write phishing emails. We see a huge rise in supply chain attacks. We've seen MSSPs, one of the biggest in our region, in the MEA, were compromised through a supply chain attack. And we see lots of cloud providers compromised. Ransom as a service has been there for like the last probably 5 years. It's spreading a lot, especially I've seen a lot of those in Africa. Critical infrastructure targeting, oil and gas. We had nationwide attacks. We had major utilities companies, oil and gas companies that were compromised in the last couple of years. We see lots of AI model poisoning. And Nick, when we start the panel, we will talk a lot about model poisoning and how machine learning algorithms can be used to provide toxic outputs or unintended outputs and stuff like that. Why it matters to MEA or Middle East and Africa? Because of the rapid growth. Our region has probably the highest growth in the world when it comes to digitalization and the way especially like in the Gulf region, there is so much investment that happens in taking everything to become digital, which brings a lot of security gaps. There is tensions in the regions that always bring those that fuel such attacks and challenges, and a big challenge that we had to deal with all the time, which is lack of talent, lack of skilled people in this region, which makes it easy for organizations to be compromised. Examples from what happened in the last couple of years. One of the incidents that happened, like with an attack vector that started with a social engineering, voice cloning, and that's why we keep saying to people that you need to use MFAs and MFAs that really detect liveness of the person that is running the transaction. That led to unauthorized transaction. This affected a Middle Eastern bank and caused them a loss of $2.1 million in 2024 because the attackers managed to clone the CEO's voice and to authorize fraudulent transfers. Imagine we still suffer from that. Mitigation, of course, definitely using AI-powered email filtering, MFAs, especially the ones that check the liveness of the person that does that, like the Microsoft, the new Microsoft Authenticator that does check the liveness, make sure that you're a live person, you're not an AI piece. Ironwood can help a lot in that because of how they expose credentials issues and the way they scan credentials and the way they can bring this to your attention when you run the Ironwood Cyber. Viettel can help a lot, especially with their threat intelligence capabilities. PointGuard definitely helps because of the AI side of the problem. They can help you discover AI generated challenges, especially when it comes to that real-time piece, not only the governance piece. Another example that happened was a ransomware that targeted a critical infrastructure in the region. It was in an African port that led to a complete shutdown in 2025. Losses are estimated to be $300 million of that shutdown. And again, because of the ransomware, encrypted the logistics systems and it disrupted the trade and the transactions that happen. Mitigation should have, of course, now we talk about mitigations because it happened, but we learned from that. They should have really deployed zero trust. They should should have really taken care of patching of vulnerable systems. They should have air-gapped backup systems because you want to have that as your last mile of defense, that last resort. Ironwood could have helped a lot in that attack if because of their automated penetration testing by discovering vulnerable systems and assets, VPNs, before the attackers do, so that you can, as a defender of that system, take care of those vulnerabilities, patch them, and take care of the issues that come with that. Definitely, Viettel can help with that through their 24/7 SOC monitoring and ransomware behavior detection. The third attack that happened, I want to bring your attention to, it was related to cloud and SaaS supply chain. This is the MSP I mentioned earlier, and in our region, where 100+ of their clients were infected. That happened in 2024, and it all started with an RMM tool that they used to remotely control devices and do their day-to-day business. The attack path was based on stalling credentials and then deploying a script, a malicious script. The mitigation to that could have been deploying the least privilege access. We still use about the same basic techniques. We still need zero trust, and we still need least privilege access. If he doesn't need that privilege, then he shouldn't be given that privilege. In addition to SaaS in general, because it started with the SaaS security posture management, which is also a big thing in the world now. Viettel could have helped a lot in this by their SOC monitoring the SaaS logins and anomalies, and PointGuard could have helped a lot by checking the malicious script, especially in the development lifecycle, and ML ops and in the end, ML ops and DevOps are the same. They go through the same process, and in the end, they need continuous integration and continuous development as part of their pipeline. The fourth one was all AI. It's all model poisoning, and it happened in an African bank in 2025. It affected their fraud detection system. It fooled their fraud detection system, which by having attackers, they fed poison data to bypass fraud checks, which led in the end to fraudulent transactions. PointGuard could have helped a lot by deploying red teaming practices, runtime protection, which is real-time protection for machine learning when you hook those machine learning algorithms to their applications related to them. The last one is a state sponsors was a wide thing. It affected a huge oil and gas company and affected actually the SCADA system in general. And it was a command and control malware that affected them. And the Viettel could have helped because of their MDR capabilities. Ironwood could have helped by having those hidden backdoors in your internal networks, and so that you can take care of them before someone starts exploiting them. Overall, what Ironwood does and how they help is that they automate risk discovery. They're AI driven. You can use their tool every single day. You can ethically hack yourself every single day. Look at the results. Work on the mitigations. They can help you find unpatched systems, misconfigured permissions, credentials, and this helps you discover the remediation steps that have to be taken. They save you a lot of time, and imagine the time that takes you to arrange for a red team or ethical hackers to start their job. That takes weeks, if not months sometimes. Viettel as I said, it's the backbone of our MSSP, of the MSSP's initiative. They can help you a lot by automated and manual. I like their approach. They call it deep penetration testing. Deep penetration testing. They help you a lot with threat intelligence. They help you a lot with the SOC services, and they have both options, the on-prem and cloud. And they help you detect through detection of live ransomware attacks, and they give you the incident responses, the related processes, and the remaining SOC services. I'll leave it to the panel discussion to go into details. PointGuard definitely is a unique thing. Um, PointGuard takes care of the whole entire machine learning development lifecycle, starting from concept, discovery, testing of models, discovery of vulnerabilities, all the way to real-time protection and runtime protection. Having PointGuard definitely helps you a lot with the AI governance, and not only that, with the AI security. Finally, you can reach out to us. This is the winners team. ILMS, Logics, Ironwood Cyber, Viettel Security, and PointGuard. I don't want to take longer. I want to switch to the panelists. I'll remind you again, please, if you have any questions, please ask us in the Q&A session. I see lots of hands raised, but let's use the chat your Q&A. We will stop from time to time to take care of your questions. But to start the panel, I want to go to the gentleman and ask them to introduce themselves in 2 minutes, introduce themselves and introduce the organizations that they work for. Start with you, Dr. Aaron. Dr. Estes.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. I'm Aaron Estes. I live in Fort Worth, Texas. I spent about 20 years of my career working for Lockheed Martin in the area of beginning with software engineering, but quickly getting into system security engineering and eventually into red teaming, cybersecurity, penetration testing, cyber assessments, and the like. I was a 3-time Lockheed Martin Fellow, which is the highest engineering position that you can hold there for 3 different business areas, Lockheed Martin Aeronautics, Lockheed Martin Space, and also IS&GS, which is our global services that became a company called Leidos, if you're familiar with that company. So I had a long career doing that. And then about 3 years ago, I started Ironwood Cyber. I co-founded Ironwood Cyber with a great friend of mine and also Lockheed Martin Fellow at the time, Ethan Pucciati. And we had seen over the years lots of gaps and problems and slow-moving solutions in some of the areas that we had worked on extensively, like penetration testing, red teaming, cyber assessments, and really wanted to make a difference in kind of speeding that up and bringing value where there might be a resource gap, where it's hard to find people or hard to find good people to work in the area, and really come alongside those testers and give them some assistance and put some smart automation in place and some AI assistance that would really help them to be able to force multiply the amount of testing and the speed of testing, the frequency of testing, because bad guys don't care that you tested your network 6 months ago, right? They're looking at your network today, and so that's one of the problems that we went out to solve. And we did some research in some other areas as well, but it's good to be here this morning. I'm also a professor. I teach at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, and I also recently started teaching at University of California at Berkeley. So
Awesome. Impressive experience, Doctor. We have a great honor and pleasure to have you with us today.
thank you.
Mr. Nam, would you please introduce yourself to the gentleman and introduce Viettel Cyber Security? And I think you're on mute, so you probably, yep.
Yeah, thank you much for your introduction. Afternoon, everyone. I am Nam. Currently, I am Director of Global Business from Viettel Cyber Security. I have more than 16 years experience in cybersecurity industry as a multiple role as a security engineer, consulting, business development, and strategy management. Uh, Talking about Viettel Cybersecurity, we founded 14 years ago as a subsidiary company inside Viettel Group, the biggest telco in ASEAN for now. We are focused more on managed stock service, threat intelligence service, and also pen test and red teaming service. With more than 60 security experts for deep research for vulnerability assessment. We are proud that we have one of the best team all over the world now for the security research. So we already won for how to own hacking challenge 2 years ago, 2023 and 2024. Actually, it's quite proud for this because it is one of the biggest hacking challenge all over the world. By the way, our stock service also accredited for CREST certificate, PCI DSS, ISO 27001, and even SOC 2. So we believe that we have one of the best stock in town for the compliance standard, and also with more than 150 security experts for our SOC center. Currently, we are providing service for more than 100 clients all over the world. So it's my honor to be here today to collaborate with all of you, and I'm ready for any question and support all of you for make the cyberspace better and better for our digital life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have a great honor and pleasure to have you with us. And I remind everyone, Viettel Security is the backbone of the new initiative we're bringing to the region called the MSSP of the MSSPs. We're your backbone. We're going to be with Viettel Security as your backbone to deliver and augment your services and deliver things that you may not be able to do it today. We will support you with that. And finally, we go to the great PointGuard company, our lovely AI company. So Nick, to you, please introduce yourself and PointGuard to us.
Thanks, Maud. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon to you all. It's great to be with you this afternoon, and thanks, Maud and the IOMAS team for inviting me. I think perhaps I want to put my hand up, Maud, and just say I think I qualify for a watch because I think I've been
You
in the
always qualify for that. I promise you. I know that.
I've been in the IT industry now for 40 years, which I think probably is the biggest number.
Wow.
And yeah, crazy, right? So most of my career has been working for US technology startups in the cybersecurity space, or the data protection space. So all very closely related kind of technology areas. So now I work for PointGuard AI, been with the company for 2.5 years. The company was founded actually by an industry veteran, a gentleman called Praveen Kothari. And he was one of the original founders of a company I'm sure you all heard of called ArcSight, which eventually got sold to HP for a large amount of money. So he's a serial entrepreneur. He started and sold many technology companies. So PointGuard is focused around AI and application security. And our mission, particularly in the AI space, is to help organizations really deal with the issues around AI security from build to runtime. We'll talk about both of those areas as we go through. It's quite a complex topic, so I'll do my best to explain and answer the questions that are posed on the session. But thanks for the invite, Maud.
Thank you so much for being with us. We know that you will add a great value to our region. We lack that expertise, technologies, and the practices, and there's a lot of AI. Those data scientists, man, in our region, they've gone crazy. They deploy these machine learning algorithms right and left for 5 and 6 years, and they know nothing about cybersecurity. So we bringing now the concept of AI governance and cybersecurity. So let's start. Dr. Estes, I want to start with you. So we talked, like in the presentation, we highlighted the ransomware attacks, especially the ones that exploit unpatched systems, regardless of what these digital assets or even VPNs. Would you let us know how Ironwood automated penetration testing can help in general, help organizations discover these vulnerabilities faster than traditional methods, and what kind of value you add there, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, I spent 20 years of my career doing red teaming and penetration testing, and what we found is we were really finding a lot of the same vulnerabilities over and over and over. A lot of it comes to just mistakes that are made, sometimes laziness, or rushing, trying to get things done, and just forgetting, absent-mindedness or things like that, not following a process well. And so you end up with vulnerabilities that creep in at a regular pace. So these things don't, they don't just come once every 6 months or once every 18 months, as some companies get tested once every 18 months. That's the extent of their penetration testing. And so during that interim period, you have all of these vulnerabilities that are creeping in just on daily use, daily configuration, adding new systems, deploying new systems. Those things are going to introduce vulnerabilities. It's just like bugs in software. They're going to happen. And we noticed that we were finding these things over and over, the same things in a lot of cases, low-hanging fruit that really just should not be there, vulnerabilities that, we had solved or that we had patches for, years and years ahead of time, but we're still finding them and being able to exploit these. And yes, it's fun for a pen tester, it's fun for a hacker to find these things, but it's also disheartening because you're like, why are we still finding this? Why are we
Yeah.
still able to why are we still able to exploit this old vulnerability in the same way that we've done before? And a lot of it came down to just the fact that there's not enough rigor, there's not enough testing. And we really saw that the rubber meets the road in being able to test those things often. And the only
Yes.
way to do that in the past, the way that the industry has grown up, was to hire a third-party consultant or to build your own penetration testing or red team internally. And it's expensive. There are not, we found that there are not a lot of resources that are really good at it. Yeah, you can throw a lot of people at it, but it really does. Penetration testing is one of those things that requires a high quality, very expert, very skilled person, and you get what you pay for when it comes to consulting or when it comes to in-house. And so it can be very expensive, and the timelines can be very lengthy. uh, I think when I was on the Lockheed Martin red team, we had maybe 20 25 testers, and we were probably only able to get about 13 real assessments of inequality and size done in a year. So we're talking a dozen or
Wow.
more. But it takes weeks. It takes logistics. You have to coordinate with the team that you're going to be testing. They usually have to do some sort of prep and logistics. They have to get you access to their system. There's just all of these steps that really start to add up and take time. And then there's the testing period. There's the scanning and information gathering, and then you're doing analysis. And like I said, a lot of these things you find to be repetitive over the years. That's
Yes.
not to say that there's not a place, we'll talk later about, there's a place for deep penetration testing. There's a place for more advanced penetration testing for security research, for those types of things. But
Yes.
you have to take care of these other low-hanging fruit first. You have to be taking
Yes.
care of these things often, because these are the things that are really going to bite you more often than those other more complex vulnerabilities, if you will. You really want to make sure that you get the low-hanging fruit out of the way. So the way that we really thought to solve that was to create a system that could come alongside a penetration testing or red team and do a lot of the, I'll call it grunt work, the scanning and the information gathering. And then we thought, well, maybe we can also do some of the analysis and the exploitation and the real penetration testing. And we actually surprised ourselves in how much of our own job that we were able to automate and we were able to replace,
Hmm.
and quickly quickly, get those things done. The first time we did an automated pen test with our tool, we did a manual pen test first. It took us about 2 weeks to get this system tested. It was a smaller system too. It was maybe 100 nodes, 100 machines or hosts on the network. Took us about 2 weeks. We found a lot of findings, probably about 90 something findings. And then we came alongside and ran our tool afterwards just to see how much of the findings our tool could. This was our first test, and we had almost identical findings in about 4.5 hours. So we went from 2 weeks to 4.5 hours, and
Wow.
we were kind of, it was awesome, but at the same time, we were like, wow, the fact that we can replace ourselves, and a lot of the work that we do is a great thing. But it also, it just kind of sets you back a minute and says, okay, this can change things. This can change the way we do penetration testing. Um, and so that's really what we built is we built a system that really does think like a hacker. When we talk about AI, we can talk about this as we go, but when we talk about AI within our system, I want to clarify that we are not doing generative AI. We are not doing the kinds of AI that you see today. We're using more of an expert system, which is old school AI, that can only do the types of testing that you've taught it to do. The reason we stuck with that approach for now is because we wanted predictability. We wanted to know what this thing was doing. And if you start turning loose generative AI and AI some of the more modern technologies, you're going to have a lot of unpredictable, a lot of things that break, and you don't really even know what kinds of testing. So we stuck to more expert systems where we get inputs in, we analyze those inputs, so scanning or footprinting and all of that data comes in. We analyze that, and then we trigger certain methods, certain hacking methods to occur in a programmed way. We are not letting the AI learn and then just go crazy. There are some research in that area, but most of our customers and clients we found are just not ready for that kind of, hey, let me just turn a fully generative AI bot on my network and see if see what happens. There's just too much risk there for now. So this does give you that automated, that speed. It gives you that analysis. It really does give you that think like a hacker type of mentality. You can bring together all of your skill from all of your hackers, whereas in old school penetration testing, you're kind of at the mercy of who's testing your network. If you've got one or two people and those two people are good at network pen testing, but they're not good at application, then they're going to find mostly network findings and not the software findings. But with an automated system, you can bring all of that knowledge together, all of your expertise together into one system, and then you have a more comprehensive, a more you have all of that knowledge that's brought together to be able to test not just whoever the expert is. The quality in penetration testing is a huge deal, especially with some of the big consultancies that you see. They've got thousands sometimes of consultants that they use to do penetration testing, and they've got a huge quality problem. They don't know who's good at what and who's not good, and it's really been an issue in the industry. Is you don't really know what you're getting with an automated system like what we have. You do know what you're getting, and it's extensible and you can add to it very quickly, and it learns very quickly. The way that we built it is to be very extensible. We can add new checks and vulnerability scans and things like that on the fly. We've done it before during a pen test, added new tools or new methods or techniques if we saw something that needed to be added. So that's kind of where the value is and where the place is for penetration testing, for automated penetration testing and AI-based penetration testing. We're taking it further than that. So we're actually adding some AI features to help with the process, not the actual exploitation, like I said, but with the process, like an agentic approach to the process so that you kick off things at certain times. You can orchestrate certain activities and things like that. So there's a lot that we can bring to bear with AI that is not necessarily, hey, I'm going to use an AI to break all of my systems, but I'm going to use it to orchestrate and to speed up the process and to come alongside a team and really give them kind of those co-pilot features for penetration testing and for red teaming, so that you can force multiply your efforts and your team. So.
Wow, what an amazing roadmap and vision, Dr. Assis. I want to go to you, Mr. Nam. So we, like in the Middle East, we face significant, I would say, talent shortage, which often leads to kind of fragmented security operation, if you may say. How does Viettel, with all of your experience, especially with your managed SOC service, specifically address this challenge of talent? And what are the unique capabilities that you guys have to truly bring in a unified defense for organizations in our region, whether it's complex or hybrid environments and the likes of that?
Yeah, thank you. It's a great question, right? Actually, when we do the visit in other country, the Thailand gap not only happen in Middle East, as you mentioned, it already happen in most of the country all over the world now. Because we are on the way to moving to the digital life instead of physical life, right? But the number of people that learn and work in the IT industry is not enough to provide to the digital life. And that's why now in most of the country, especially in the growing country, they don't have enough people working in IT and especially in cybersecurity industry. That's why we are so proud that our managed SOC that we provide 24 by 7 with the expert led with more than 150 security experts now can directly filling the Thailand gap for any region. Why? The first one is our SOC platform is 100% that in-house development by us, including SIM, SOAR, EDR, NDR, and even threat intelligence. Then that will enable a truly consolidated platform for centralized monitoring across all system layers. And it also support for the client to saving the cost. We estimated for 60% of cost saving and 35% of time saving when we handle and facing any cybersecurity incident. By the way, we also provide a flexible implementation model for on-prem, on cloud, and even hybrid. So we can support for the diverse IT landscape for not only in Middle East and even in other regions. By the way, how we can leverage and scale our SOC quite fast like this, because we understand that when we provide SOC service, the know-how of the security expert is quite important. Because when we finish the incident response for a lot of clients from this, for example, in the financial industry, we also use this as a case study or lesson learned for the same customer in the same industry in other regions. So we can share the know-how and we also support the client with what we used to facing before. That's why it's our advantage, and we can support the for in this case is the fill the Thailand gap for Middle East. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'll remind everyone, Viettel is the backbone of our new initiative, the MSSP of the MSSPs. So all of these services mentioned by Mr. Nam will be available to all of our resellers in the region to augment their capabilities. And now to you, Nick. And it's always difficult to ask questions about AI because sometimes you ask the question and you think, oh, is it Copilot that I'm asking about? Is it other Gemini? Is it, I don't know, chatbot? Is it, I don't know, OpenAI? Is it the tool I use to help me, I don't know, do that? No. So with that being almost promoted virtually by every cybersecurity vendor today, like everyone says we use AI in a way or another. Would you please help us have some clarity on exactly where PointGuard AI fits and the value that you guys provide?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a really, really great question. It's definitely a topic of some confusion. So I like to try and categorize kind of three main areas, maybe a fourth one coming, which I'll talk about. But for me, the first big separation is the separation between AI for security, which is a little bit that we've touched on today so far. And as you quite rightly say, Mo, you can go to any vendor website, any security vendor website today, and you're going to see AI everywhere, right? Maybe not with Aaron, but definitely on a lot of security vendor platforms, you'll hear the word AI used, and every vendor is going to be using some form of AI to help their processes and their products and their solutions be more efficient for their customers. I mean, that's just a trend that's happening. So that's category number one. That's not a category that PointGuard is in, but it's good to know that that's happening. We do obviously use some AI ourselves, but that's not the subject of this call. The second category is a kind of splits into two. So one is providing security and governance for companies and users that are accessing what I would call SaaS-based AI capabilities, right? So this is the co-pilots that you just mentioned, particularly. So companies could be and users could be utilizing Microsoft Copilot. I mean, Copilot's in Office 365 now, right? So everyone's starting to use Copilot, but also other companies like Salesforce, GitHub, ServiceNow, any big software SaaS company is going to start to use Copilots and AI capability. So that's protecting users in that environment is another category. That's also not where PointGuard is today, but it's an important category. The third one is where we firmly fit. So this is for companies that are starting to build AI capability into their own applications. So financial services companies, healthcare companies, manufacturing companies, every single company. I mean, this is probably the quickest adoption of a technology we've ever seen.
Yes.
Every
Yes.
company is starting to build AI capability and get the benefits of some kind of AI into their existing business applications. And that's where PointGuard fit. We want to protect and help those companies throughout their kind of, let's call it their AI journey, from the original research all the way through the build phase, the deployment phase, and the runtime phases. They all have different kinds of risks, but that's where we want to support them. And then my indication to the future is the fourth area, which we will also address in our roadmap. Is so far we've talked about human to AI, right? And there is a whole generation, the next generation, which is going to be AI to AI. And that's the whole topic of agentic AI solutions, where applications and agents start talking to each other, and that's a whole different ball game for another day. But that's where things will be going. So PointGuard AI is really here to help those customers that are on their journey. Of course, some are. And it's probably worth maybe just spending a minute talking about where that journey started. So the reality is that a lot of security teams don't yet have visibility of the AI activities that are taking place in their own companies. So we've seen even very large companies where we've seen maybe data science or data teams, look to add some AI capability. So they'll go off to research what kind of data models, LLM models. So you mentioned kind of ML algorithms, Mo, but we kind of talk in the concept of LLM models, large language models. And because you have to have a large language model as part of your AI application, that's what's doing the AI piece, right? So somewhere there has to be an LLM involved. And where does that model come from? Whose model do we use? And companies, data science teams will pick the right model for their application, depending on its results. But they tend to go to open source platforms to look for those. So there is one particular open source platform called Hugging Face. And Hugging Face currently has about 1.8 million LLM models that you can go and download as open source.
Wow.
So the challenge becomes no one knows where those models came from. They don't know how they were trained. They don't know the model lineage. But effectively, a data science team may have gone, found some model on Hugging Face, brought it into the organization, maybe connected it to a data set, fine-tuned it on a data set, and suddenly it's connected to a business application and it's running in the company. And it's an open source piece of software. It should be treated as every other piece of open source software. It should be tested, and we'll talk about that moving forwards. The environment that that model is running on also needs to be configured correctly. We call that the MLOps platform. So we need to look at MLOps posture management to make sure we're not introducing configuration risks there as well. AWS configuration risks are one of the largest underlying root cause of a lot of successful attacks, and that's the same for MLOps. So the one thing perhaps to just think about is AI has all the risks of traditional software. So Aaron would be talking about penetration testing, making sure not just quite correctly on the host side, on the application side, but it has to be on the AI side as well. And penetration testing of models or red teaming of models is an interesting topic I think we'll get into. But it's a complex topic. There have been some third-party organizations which you'll be familiar with, like OWASP and MITRE and NIST. These companies have all produced now frameworks for mapping risks and vulnerabilities to, for example, the OWASP top 10 for large language models. It's a very popular framework, and testing and mapping risk to that is a critical part of the security governance framework. So I hope that gives some insight to what to think about and where we fit.
Yeah. To add to that, like one of the attacks I'm aware of that was on an oil and gas company where the machine learning algorithm was compromised to provide unintended and wrong outputs, and it cost them, the drilling where it decides where to drill, and then it picked the wrong place and it caused damage. If I'm not mistaken, like it cost them $8 million of equipment damage because of the unintended outcomes. And for everyone, we have a blog and a white paper that details the frameworks that Nick just mentioned too. We'll be happy to share them with you for specific industries too. I want to take some questions from the attendees. So we got a question in the Q&A where how do you validate? And I'll leave this open to anyone that wants to jump in and answer the question. How do you validate the quality of AI security expertise when many professionals claim capabilities they have not practically demonstrated? Oh man. Yeah. How do you validate the quality of AI security expertise?
That's a good one. So is that to the panel?
To the panel, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to go first. So yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, we talk about AI security, but who's securing the AI, right? So that's that. I mean, that's why PointGuard exists, and we have to apply traditional security best practice to the whole concept of AI. But really, it's about breaking the AI down into its component parts, right? I mean, if you just leave it as this big kind of AI black box, you'll never get anywhere. You have to break it down into its component parts. There are resources and infrastructure used for AI deployment. There are models that are used to provide the visible AI component. These models are connected to data sets. There's training that takes place. Those resources are running on infrastructure that's designed for MLOps. So things like AWS Bedrock and AWS SageMaker, Databricks, Snowflake, these kind of platforms. Every stage through that has to be tested and validated in line with best practice for security. And I think if you generally follow that framework of breaking down things into blocks and making sure you're applying a valid framework, and I don't think organizations like NIST and MITRE and OWASP have lots and lots of expertise in this area, right? So that's a good place to start.
Very well. I see Dr. Estes, you added something. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would add. So I'm actually building a course for UC Berkeley right now on cybersecurity with AI, ML, and generative AI. And so I think assessing those frameworks that Nick just mentioned, including the OWASP top 10 and things like that, that's going to be some of the first steps. It's just, hey, are they educated enough to be able to talk to this? Do they understand the vulnerabilities? Do they understand how to mitigate these vulnerabilities? Things like that. Some of the old school practices are going to be relevant, like he talked about, assessing assessing software, looking at open source and how do we assess the open source? How do we assess the AI? Those types of things. Some other things, the answer that I posted or the link that I posted to answer the question is something that my former company, Lockheed Martin, has put together. So they just announced this concept of a AI Fight Club. And so they're looking for the best and the brightest. So in cybersecurity and in red teaming and penetration testing, we've long had capture the flag competitions. We've long had competitions to be able to show your skills and assess your skills and things like that. And we find talent using those methods. I've found I teach, so in the collegiate competitions that we do for cybersecurity, I found that students who've even participated, much less won, or maybe they're not the top, but they participated in these competitions, they come out with a lot more practical knowledge and understanding because they've fought through it. They've struggled with it, and they've shown that they can think on the fly, that they can look at new problems and solutions and technologies. And so I think some of it comes to assessment techniques like that, putting together these types of competitions and these types of global, show your skills, improve your skills types of activities. So I thought Lockheed's approach here is really trying to address this issue. Show us that you know AI, because we can't just keep hiring people who can spell AI because it's only 2 letters, right? So
Yes, that's amazing, amazing. So Nam, if you want to add anything to this.
No, I believe two AI experts here already give a great answer. So I don't have any comment for this. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. So let me move to the next question. How do you assess the quality gap between academic AI security knowledge and practical industrial application requirements? Maybe this is for you, Dr. Estes.
I think I think we kind of answered a lot of that question with like I talked about, looking for proven experience in an industry that's so young is difficult, right? And so you've got to go beyond just, can you spell AI? Can you talk to it? That's more the academic side. Have you done some research in the area? And find where people have actually struggled with it, have actually implemented their own. We do this in like I said, in cybersecurity. I look for people who have, maybe they don't have 10, 15 years of AI ML experience working with models or working with generative AI, just because the industry is so young and so new. But have they ever built an AI on their own? Can they show you? I've got a friend who put out his resume. He's a data science guy. He's one of the best in the industry. He wins competitions all the time. But for his approach to kind of prove, he was looking for a new job, and he created a resume bot. And instead of putting his resume out in the standard, PDF Word doc format, he created an AI bot that could answer questions about him, that could answer in his tone and things, just to show that, hey, I've got experience. I can create these things on the fly. He showed some of the competitions that he's won and things like that. And then just showing practically, what has he done in the industry? What has he used it for? Where does he see the industry going? Where does he see the utility of AI ML solutions, things like that. So it's a lot of the practical assessment, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, and we have a question also for Ironwood Cyber. How automated AI pen testing works? How does it work with Ironwood? Is it a tool that can be run more than one time in the internal network? And how does the license work? Is it a one-time cost based on number of nodes?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we are subscription based. It's an annual subscription. And yes, right now we have not had the need to put any kinds of um, uh, limitations on how often you run it. It's going to automatically kind of limit itself, in that it's going to take a couple hours, depending on how large your network is. And you do pay by the size of the network, the number of network nodes that you have. So whether you're a 500 node company, or you got 500 nodes on your network, or 1,000 nodes, or whatever, you pay according to that. But you can run it as often as you would like at the current with the current solution. that might change in the future as we start looking at cloud costs and things like that, the more customers we have and the faster that it gets and things like that, we may have to limit, but for now we've got pretty much unlimited use. It does both external and internal penetration testing. So the external side does not require an agent or a client or anything like that. Of course, it can do all of the things that it needs to do from the outside. But then in order to do internal testing, all you do is download one single executable. All it is a foothold client for us. It sets up an ephemeral tunnel, a tunnel that is keyed every time that we use it, and it's torn down every time that we use it. So it doesn't stay up. You don't have a consistent VPN tunnel between us, between our cloud and your environment. It's literally sets it up kind of like you would for a pen test. You set it up, you use it, and then you tear it down. So that's kind of the way that it works.
Great. And a question from Mr. Majid related to also academia. I think it's been answered. Great job moving towards AI. So that was answered probably. You can refer to that Lockheed Martin AI fight cup, sorry, that helps. I think it helps a lot. Hamilton, I guess from South Africa. Happy to have you, man. Hi there. I would like to inquire about pen testing solution you offer. Does it include web eye? Yes, they do. So both Ironwood Cyber does that, and the team from Viettel Cyber, they do also provide both technologies, and they answered that, I think, in the chat. And Lawrence, how the job market, how the cybersecurity market will be affected in the jobs. Oh, that's a huge question, man. By cybersecurity companies who offer AI and automated AI. Um, it is something that we have to live with. That's the only answer I think probably I can have, unless you gentlemen want to add something. Yeah.
I mean, it's coming from the academic world and being a teacher. It's just we're really having to rethink the way that we do everything in education. I mean, for me, my job is almost my job is almost obsolete when it comes to building. I'm building some classes right now, and you wouldn't imagine. I mean, I couldn't imagine 5 years ago how much faster I can create content and create courses and cultivate that and curate that. But then on the student side as well, they can use the same tools that I use to create the class to get through the class um, so it's and then you've got hackers using it, bad guys using it on their end. They're getting faster. They're getting more capability with AI capabilities that they would not have had access to before. They would have had to sit and actually learn or go through the process. And now they just go use an AI tool to speed things up and to make things faster and to make them more dangerous. I mean, frankly. So it's changing the whole world of on the cybersecurity education, on the AI education side, all the way through to the defense and offensive side and the attack side. It's something that is just there's hasn't been anything like this, an evolution like this in that IT
Ages and ages.
yeah. So it's everyone having to come together and really rethink how how we do things and how we live in this community. I'm sure, Nick, you have a lot of comments as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think you pretty much said it all, Aaron. I mean, I think, as we've said, the AI revolution has happened way quicker than web and cloud and all the other ones we've seen in the last, let's say, 20 years and even before that, right? So, it's forcing everybody to come up to speed, but at some point in the future, it will become normal life for everybody, right? So we're just in that period where it's not at that point yet. So it's on all of us to get ourselves up to speed and make sure we go through the training courses that people and companies like Aaron provide. So it's on all of us to get educated because it's a wave which is coming, and we can choose how to participate. But so it's often a question that comes up: is AI going to replace my job? The answer to that question, I apart from some very specific job roles, is no. But someone who knows how to use and leverage AI absolutely can replace your job, right? So it's on all of us to skill up.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'll say it this way. I've got a 16-year-old daughter. She's going to be a junior in high school, and she's getting interested in computer science and data science, and I'm pushing her in that direction and telling her you need to run with that as fast as you can and learn as fast as you can, because when you get into college and through your degree, the people that have that interest, that have that head start, are going to be in high demand. Those are the ones that, like you said, are kind of going to be front of the line when it comes to the jobs that are assisted now using AI, and that are much, you can't be stuck in the past and trying to do things the old way. I say that to pen testers all the time too. I'm like,
Yeah.
if you don't know how to harness AI and harness the and leverage the utility there, you're going to be left behind doing things the old way.
Yeah, I agree. Now, to you, Mr. Nam, since there is a question about incident response, before I go with this, go through it, it's a lengthy one from Brian, and it's a very, very rich one. But would you please give us like a quick introduction to your incident response services, and whether it is part of your SOC services, and how you can engage with the partners and resellers in the region providing this service?
Uh, Thank you, Mot. As I see the question here is the full question is how to balance AI automation with human oversight or incident response,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned before, so we are on the biggest SOC provider in our region, especially in ASEAN. So every year we facing with more than 400 incidents from the client, and even from our telco. So if
Mm-hmm.
we do 100% by human, uh, absolutely is not enough effort for this, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the key point here is AI tool will support us to reduce the time for the initial and investigate for some basic steps, at least for scanning, run some tool to check for some malware and collecting logs, yeah, and run some how to say collaborate and some rules to detect some basic uh, escalate and attack from the incident. And after that, our security experts will come in to verify the result from the tools and also do the in-depth investigate for the
Mm-hmm.
incident. So that's why I mean that people don't worry about that, especially in cybersecurity. AI will replace the security engineer, right? So day by day, we still need more and more security engineer because the AI, actually, to be honest, they are the tools and they supported a lot for the reducing effort in management, in monitoring, and even in incident response. But the know-how and the skill set from human is still the best and always has the highest priority for everything. So that means that I also answer for the above question for someone that worry about the loss the job of the cybersecurity in AI, and also sharing our experience for the how to balance with AI tools and uh, security expert skill set. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Brian, your question needs probably an hour to answer, to be honest with you. So, but you can reach out to us through our contacts, and we can arrange detailed discussion if you want to. We'll be happy to help with that. Rami, hi dear. How do you recommend balancing AI automation with a human oversight? You know what, Rami, let me take this one. AI brought a new concept. It's a funny concept. It's called a human in the middle. But it's a way to mitigate AI challenges, because if it's AI all the way, that's a problem. How do you get those checks and balances, as you said? So uh, it's a huge thing also, Rami, but we'll be happy to meet with you again, and one-on-one meetings to go through those in detail. As I said, we have a blog and a detailed blog that describes all of these challenges. We'll be happy to answer. Rami, also, how can small to mid-sized businesses adopt AI-powered cybersecurity tools without major budget investment? I think everyone here can help with that. So with Ironwood Cyber, you can, if you're a partner, you can subscribe, for example, to the platform and maybe resell uh, each each time you run that service to your partners and then reduce the cost that they have to pay. So you can help them with that. With the services from Viettel, with the combination of technology, services, and human and skills, you can benefit a lot from that to augment your services, and this will help you reduce the cost of service provided to your partners. With PointGuard AI, you don't have to go the whole journey at once. So you can go, it can take it piece by piece, starting with governance. It can be divided into three major phases so that you can manage your costs. And I think this helps a lot. And again, if we can meet in one-on-one, have one-on-one meetings to
I
provide
would
that.
say if the tool was created in a smart manner, like our tool was actually created to bring more value at probably the same cost, if not less.
Mhm.
So for about the cost that you're going to pay for a third-party penetration testing company, a consultancy to come in, you would get a year of our service, which is bringing you a capability that they can't. They can't test you every day. They can't test you over and over and give you that ongoing capability. So you're getting additional capability for about the same price that you would pay for these legacy kind of manual consulting based assessments. Again, not that there's not a place for those types of assessments, but you're going to do those maybe once a year, once every 18 months, something like that. Whereas this is something that you get every day. So in a lot of cases, it should either save you money or at least cost, somewhere around the same amount, depending on the tool. But so some of the investments I think are kind of even, if you will.
Awesome. And Muhammad Khan, with AI email gateway, if you reach out to us, we have it in our ecosystem system. We can recommend you to connect you to partners that do provide that email filters AI. I want to take another round because we have like 15 minutes to the end of the webinar. I want to take another round of questions with the panelists, and then honestly, it was very engaging, and I'm happy to get your answers. But we'll take another round of questions with the gentleman here, and then we move to the quiz directly. So I'll go back to you, Dr. Assas. So um, uh, there is always a question of how automated tools can truly mimic the real world attacker's behavior and tactics and all of that, compared to standard vulnerability scanners, because we do have standard scanners. I know they're fragmented. You got to do a lot of them, but how does Ironwood's technology in general mimic that in a much better way than using those scattered vulnerability scanners?
Right. Yeah, as I mentioned kind of earlier, we took the kind of expert system approach, where a standard scanner of any kind is going to just have a standard set of scripts that it runs. It's going to have it will be extensible. It'll be able to add new methods and things like that. But typically, it just runs everything all the time, just looking for anything and everything. We don't do things that way. We built what we call the Catalyst Decision Engine, and it's an expert
Hmm.
system. And what it does is it runs the steps that a penetration tester would take. So first, I'm going to do information gathering. I'm going to look at the network and see what's there. And based on what I see, I'm going to do some additional scanning, some additional footprinting and data gathering. And I make those decisions based on what I'm seeing, triggers. So we call those triggers. So as we pull in that data, we trigger a new action to happen. Now, there might be 100 different actions that could be taken, but because we've looked at the system and we know what it looks like, we're only going to take these 5 actions because those are the only ones that make sense given the data that has been pulled back. So we're not running every action all the time. We're running those specific actions that or testing methods or scanning methods that make sense for this environment. We pull back in more data. That data is going to trigger more we call them reactions. It's going to trigger more reactions that reaction might be more data gathering, or it might be some analysis, some testing, an exploitation method. Once we get access to some credentials, that's going to trigger other tests to run. So we're basically pulling in data and then triggering reactions based on the human expertise that we've built into the system that's constantly changing. That's why we get that more predictability. We know that when we see these set of inputs, these are the actions that are going to run. So that's how we mimic kind of that thinking like a hacker type of mentality. Now, again, that doesn't cover every vulnerability everywhere, and it's not going to build new reactions or new testing techniques on its own. We do that as kind of human in the loop, if you will. But you know, that's the way that it currently works. Like I said, there's a lot of research in doing more of a generative AI approach where it's learning and doing things on its own, and it probably will get as good or better than a human. But it's kind of like self-driving in a Tesla. There's a lot of testing, a lot of risk, a lot of
Yeah,
things that you have to go through to be able to get to the point where you can understand, you know, and trust that it's going to do what it should do. So.
I agree. And to you, Mr. Nam, especially when it comes to security posture evaluation in general, this is a critical part when it comes to red team exercises. How is Viettel cybersecurity different? What sets you apart in the offensive security testing and service as a service provider?
Actually, our red teaming service was built not to compete with as a service or as a solution for security assessment. Actually, our red teaming service is a service that investment at crash certified, and we build around the real world simulate attack because we had a very strong and very big team for white hacking, and we also support a lot of organizations, especially, for example, in Vietnam, in some sensitive industry like oil and gas, telco, and even a lot of financial service like banks, insurance company, to uncover the blind spot like APT behaviors. Because our service is provided by security experts, as I mentioned before, uh, to simulate which really can be happen with the current and in the real world. And I believe that it can reduce the code up to around 70 or 80% by eliminating false positive and optimize detection system. Actually, this service to assess the how strong of the capability of the defense system from the current, not for uh, as a purpose like as a security tools of security assessment. That's why I mentioned that we do not compete with any other solution because this one is targeted to uh, understand how to good the defense
Mhm.
system from the customer is. Yes, that's why it's a big difference between our teaming service and other service or security assessment tools.
Awesome. Gosh, I want to talk more. It's just we're running out of time. But back to you, Nick, now. And again, since we're talking about red teaming and how do you guys at PointGuard AI, how do you test or kind of red team AI systems different than traditional apps, the ones that we are used to, like Burp Suite or all of the other tools?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great question. So, of course, all traditional, I call it traditional. Some, not everybody's got to that point yet, but of course, the whole kind of shift left kind of move has pushed a lot of companies into doing software testing way earlier in the development life cycle, right? So you mentioned Burp Suite. So technologies like SAST and DAST and software composition analysis, of course, play a part in your traditional AppSec framework. But AI brings some new challenges. So, and it's actually a little bit different because we apply the concept of red teaming to the testing of models. right? So that's one element of the AI ecosystem as we've discussed. So the challenge here, the difference to think about is what the outcome will be once you run the test, right? With traditional kind of vulnerability management programs and pen test programs, whether it's on a host or a software asset, ultimately there's going to be a remediation plan, right? That remediation plan will be, some kind of patch management or changing a software library or whatever it may be. Now, there will always be situations where there's an exception and you may take the risk to run with an exception. Maybe this, a maintenance window is not available or maybe even a fix isn't available in the short term, right? So you take a risk. But generally, companies will try to fix critical and high priority, critical and high issue, threat issues. But with model testing, it's somewhat different because you can't fix the model, right? You can't you can run a test on a model and say, hey, it has weaknesses in the area of maybe malware generation or deepfake generation or some kind of toxicity or bias or hallucination problem. It may have those risks, but you can't go back to the model and change it. It's not your model, right? It's a fixed thing. So the interesting conversation we get into with customers is, okay, well, what do we do? Because we want to embrace AI technology. So we have to have a model, and we will choose a model that is best for our application. But of course, we want to test that, and the reason you want to test it is because you do want to understand where the weaknesses of that model may lie. The models are very different, and there are millions of them, right? So some models may be more susceptible to deepfakes, or some models may be more susceptible to maybe toxicity or bias or hallucination or malware generation. And it's really important to know what the risk profile of your chosen model is going to be, because at some point you're going to connect that model to your data set or your data, and you're going to make that application available to users. So the really important part or output of the model testing is to understand the risk profile of the model. You can't go and fix it. So companies often say, well, if every model has a risk, what do I do? Because I need to adopt a model for my application. So that is where the second stage comes in, which is the runtime defense. So model testing is generally done at build time or during the development phase and research phase. But and you may choose a model which has a known weakness, let's say in malware generation. Now, the trick is make sure you're protecting or you have some protection against that malware generation weakness in runtime. So that's where we complement the overall solution. Yes, we'll do the model testing and pen testing of the model at the build phase, so you understand the risk as a customer. And then you take that risk profile and you make sure that you have appropriate policies in place and checks in place when the application is running. So when a user is communicating with the AI application, effectively the model, in runtime, we will be monitoring the prompts and responses that are going to that model, and we'll be making sure that the security policy profile is set to manage the risk profile you identified in the red teaming process. And that can be for threat prevention, such as jailbreak or prompt injection attacks, those kind of things, but also for data protection. You don't want your model giving up, credit card numbers or personal identifiable information or things like that as well. So both from a threat prevention and also a data protection perspective, you need to make sure you're protecting your AI applications at runtime.
Yes, I agree. Guys, I didn't even ask 50% of the questions I wanted to ask, but I'm happy because of the engagement. Thank you so much, guys, for asking those questions. But it's time to jump to the next phase. Mr. Khan, in terms of in terms of security, how you would rate it, that is a big question, buddy. We got meet in person, man, and talk about it in detail. So leave it to the next session. It is time for grand finale now, for the grand finale. And the grand finale is the quiz. And the questions are simple. And this is how you participate, and this is how you win. So let me share my screen and show you how you participate. All the best to all of you guys. So it's an online quiz. It's more of a game that we play together so that we find out how much we learned from this session. We will have three winners. Each one of them will have an Apple Watch. And how you win by answering the question faster than everyone else. Correct answer. So it has to be correct and it has to be faster than anyone else. And with that, you accumulate points. And the ones that will get the top 3 scores from this quiz will win those 3 Apple Watches. What I want you to do now is please go to your mobile phone and download an app that's called Kahoot, as you can see, the one in front of you. So go to your cell phone, download the app, search for Kahoot. Once you download it, like from your App Store or like Play Store, once you download it, run the app. Once you run it or open the app, it will go through mostly like next. So you will get a welcome message. You click next. It will ask you if you're playing personal, professional, select personal. And are you playing or is it your child that's playing? It's you that's playing. And I don't want your child to win. Don't cheat, huh? And then it will ask you for your age. So we're all like, I don't know, 21 years old. And then it will ask you if you're playing with colleagues and customers. You can those options, select colleagues and customers. It will ask you to create an account. Don't do that. You don't do that. Just click maybe later. It will present lots of ads. Ignore them all. Just access. Ignore any ads that happen. You have to reach to this screen in the end that has those 4 colorful squares. This is how you answer questions. So the first thing I want you to do is to download the app. Why do I need you to download the app? Because you will use the app on your cell phone to answer questions. How do you see the questions? I will be sharing my screen and I'll give you a PIN number for that game to join. And you will see the question. You select the corresponding color of the correct answer. So you'll see the questions. The answer, the question, then you have 4 options. One in green, one in red, one in yellow, and one in blue. If the blue one is the correct one, you click or you push the blue square on your phone. Okay, this is how you win. So you need to always be able to see my screen so that you can read the questions. And you need to always have a quick access to your phone. And that's why we need you to use your phone so that you see the questions and immediately answer the questions. You win by by choosing the correct answer and by being faster than anyone else. We have 10 questions, which means you have time to really become one of the top 3 or have one of the top 3 scores. Please do that. Again, download the Kahoot app on your cell phone, Android or iOS. Go through this process. Next, personal, you being playing, age, colleagues and customers. Maybe later for the create an account option. Don't create an account. And then ignore all of the ads and please get to this screen. Once you're there, we will start the game. And I'll give you a PIN number for you to join the game. Our team, PointGuard's team, Ironwood's team, and Viettel Cyber Security's team, every team that's part of this webinar cannot join and cannot win. Okay, Nick? I know you qualify, but you cannot join this. So no one else except the attendees. I will wait for like a minute for you guys to download the app. Please type in the chat ready for us to know if there are many people that managed to download the app and reach to that screen. Yes, great. I see lots of ready. Amazing. Good. We'll give it 1 minute, like an awkward moment of silence, just waiting for you guys to get ready. And I think there is a question here. Let's see what that question is. Create or explore. There's no create or no. Don't create. The game is already created. We want you to download the app, and you will not be creating any new Kahoots. So no creation of cahoots, okay? No problem. Wait for you, Mr. Jafar. We will wait for 1 minute. No problem. Download the app, please. Go through the whole process of almost next, and get ready once you reach those 4 squares, the colorful 4 squares. I'll share my screen again for 10 seconds.
Share your screen, please, again, the steps.
I will do that. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. No problem. So here it is. So again, next, personal, and this is on the mobile app. You download the Kahoot app, and this is on the mobile app. So download. You can do it online, but you have to switch between 2 browsers. It's better to use it on the app. So because you have to see my screen to be able to answer. You have to see the question, okay? So welcome. You just click next. You select personal. You play, not your child. You enter the age. Choose colleagues and customers. Maybe later for the create an account option. And then we need you to get to the screen, okay? So again, I'll just bring it in. I'm gonna give it like 30 seconds, guys, before we continue, okay? It's 10 questions. Every question is like, I don't know, 30 seconds or 45 seconds. So it's gonna be a quick quiz. 10 questions, that's it. Okay? We finish in 3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes. Brian, you have your hand raised. Let me see what your question is. I think there are questions here in the chat. People are ready. Please guide again the next step. I just want you to reach to this screen to make sure that you are ready, which is this one on your mobile phone. Once you're ready there, you will click on these squares, and this will ask you to enter your name, like a nickname, and then it will ask you for a PIN number, a game PIN number, which I'll be sharing in a minute once we're done. Okay? Okie dokie. So here is the PIN number, 441580. And I have to warn you a bit. For whatever reason, I think it's AI related stuff. Kahoot has music that is really weird. So sometimes when the question is tricky, you hear like scary music. And sometimes it's funny music, it's happy music. So you gotta be ready for that. It's part of the fun. And I see people joining. I'm happy to see you guys joining. Give it like, I don't know, 30 seconds for people. Apologies for taking long. Yep. Again, our team cannot join and cannot win, okay?
But Abu Omar, our partners can join, huh?
Our resellers, partners, and customers, they can join. But us, like DistiLogics,
No, I'm not talking about us.
ILMS, DistiLogics, PointGuard AI, Ironwood Cyber team, and Viettel Cyber team cannot join and they cannot win.
Hi, Mort. Can you hear me?
Yes,
This is Peter
yes,
from Viettel.
yes,
Mr.
Peter.
We have a big incident response happening in the SOC center. So Mr. Nam already rushing, yes, to the center.
Okay, no
Yes, so if
problem.
anything happened, yes, I would take care of his part.
No problem. We're done. It's just the quiz time now.
Yes,
We will
thank
be
you.
finished in
Please,
5 minutes, a few
yes,
minutes.
let's our
Thank you.
partner and reseller enjoying the Kahoot. Yes,
Yes, thank you so much. And please pass our regards to Mr. Nam. Thank you so much.
yes, thank you. I will.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Right. We have 30 participants. Anyone else, please join us. We are starting in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's the fun start. Let's rock and roll. Please make sure you read the question. You answer using your cell phone. Select the correct color. If you're faster than anyone else and you choose the correct answer, you will make more points and this will qualify you to win. We have 3 winners today and we will start now. Kahoot at work. Great. First question, 3, 2, 1. What's the difference between Distilogics and ILMAS technologies? Oh my God, it's weird music. So the first answer is Distilogic plays for Real Madrid team, ILMAS plays for Liverpool team. Both organizations are keen about climate change impact, or there is no difference. Option 4 is Distilogics' focus is on end-user computing and digital experience. ILMAS's focus is on cybersecurity. And 15 seconds to go. We have 27 answers. 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go. And it's the weird music there. 22 people got it right. Someone said that Distilogics works plays for Real Madrid and ILMAS plays for Liverpool. And I think that's why we have the red in ILMAS's logo, huh? Amazing. Let's see who is on the top. Ahmed Abdul Wahid, I guess. Great job. 900 plus points. Nishad, we are happy to see you again, buddy. Ahmed Bakhid from Qatar, we're happy to see you again, buddy. And Bala and Muhammad Mukhtar. So we have on the board 5 people, 3 winners only. Remember, you still have 9 questions. Move on. Second question. What is the key advantage of Ironwood Cyber's automated penetration testing? The first answer is it takes 5 days to complete a full scan, or it modifies phishing email content, or it delivers results in 1 hour instead of days, or it only works for cloud environments. What do you guys think? And I like the music now, it's not weird. It's not like the Distilogics and ILMAS question. Huh. Kahoot likes you, Dr. Estes. Five seconds to go. And we're done. 25 correct answers. I'm happy that you guys really got it. Amazing job. Amazing job. 25 correct answers. I think there are people asking questions in the chat. So if anyone from our team can take care of those questions. Okay. Next, let's see who's on top. Ahmed Bakit, 1900 points. Amazing job. Nishad and Bella. Bella, I'm happy to see that you're moving on. Thank you so much, guys. Next, to the third question. What is the key advantage of Viettel Security Managed SOC service? Is it that it only operates during business hours? Is it that it uses third-party tools exclusively? Or is it because of their consolidated platform and automated global certificates? Or is it because it replaces firewalls in organizations? And 20 seconds to go. Five seconds to go. And we're done. 21 people got it right. Amazing job, guys. I love it. Thank you so much for paying attention to the webinar. Great. Let's see. Next. And now Ahmed Bakhid still on the top. Good job, Ahmed. Nishad and Ahmed Abdul Wahid. You're too close to him. That's like, I don't know, 10 points or 15 points. You can make it, and you still have 7 questions. So next, the fourth question. What are the key requirements for AI security for application builders? Is it visibility of AI projects, models, and resources? Is it security testing, red teaming of models, threat protection at runtime? Is it continuous monitoring of AI infrastructure security posture? Or is it all of the above? Oh, good. We got it. People got it like amazing job, guys. And we finished before the 30 seconds or 45 seconds. Amazing job. 29 people got it right. The majority of people. And Ahmed, you're on fire, Ahmed Bakhit. As always, man, you're on fire. You see? 3,900 points. Next. How does Ironwood's AI improve vulnerability detection compared to traditional scanners? Does it only check for outdated software? Does it ignore zero-day vulnerabilities? Does it require manual input for every test? Or it simulates real-world attacker behavior? Okay. 20 seconds to go. Ten seconds to go. I'm just putting pressure on you guys. Yes, it's emotional pressure. Yes. Okay, we got it. 29 people got it right. Amazing job. Let's see who's on top. Let's see if Ahmed Bakhit is still there. Awesome, yeah, Ahmed, you're truly on fire. But Jacob Fibvaz, you're on fire because you're growing really fast. You still have 5 questions, man. You can make it. Everyone can make it. Nishad, Ahmed, and everyone else. Next, question number 6. Which unique data sources power Viettel's threat intelligence platform? Is it social media? Is it ISP level telemetry, dark web, underground sources, and deep research? Or is it public databases only? Or is it external news outlets? Good. I'm happy with the music, guys. No weird music, except the first one for DC Logics and ILMS. 15 seconds to go. And 5 seconds to go. Great. Most people got it right, guys. I'm so proud of this audience. Guys, I love you. Awesome job. Next. Ahmed Bakhid, man, you're in control, buddy. Ahmed Abdul Wahid, you're on fire because you're moving really fast upward. Yeah, you can make it. It's 100 points. And you still have, I think, 4 questions. So, what is a popular industry framework for mapping AI security risk? Is it CVE? Is it CWE? Is it OWASP? top 10 for LLMs, or is it EPSS? Lots of acronyms, guys. And 20 seconds to go. Putting pressure on you. I'm sure someone says, man, why don't you just stop talking and let's focus? I'm not gonna do it because this is how I enjoy it. 2 seconds, 1 second, boom. 23 people got it right. Great job. Thank you so much. Let's see what happened to the score. Ahmed Bakhit again, man, you're on fire. Ahmed, Nishad, Ahmed, Abdul Wahid. Bella, you're doing well. Anas, keep pushing, guys. Good. Hamilton, you moved 6 places in one jump. Keep pushing, buddy. Question number 8. Which type of attack can Ironwood's automated penetration testing help prevent? Is it phishing emails? Is it ransomware exploiting unpatched systems and VPNs? Or is it social engineering calls? Or is it DDoS attacks? And 20 seconds to go. I like this. The winners team: Ironwood Cyber, Viettel Cyber Security, PointGuard AI, Distilogics, and ILMS. I like it. 19 people got it right. Man, Ironwood Cyber is not an email security, guys. It doesn't do phishing emails. It does protect against ransomware exploiting unpatched systems. It helps you discover vulnerabilities and issues in your systems. But 19 people got it right. Amazing. Let's move. Ahmed Bakhit. Man, I'm so proud of you, Ahmed. Welcome from Qatar. Great job. And Combo Breaker, you jumped 3 participants. Actually, you did 7. So amazing job, man. 2 more questions. You still have hope. What is the main difference between automated security penetration testing and red teaming services? The answers are: automated penetration testing is done by nation-state actors, while red teaming is for compliance purposes only. Second option: red teaming is for real-world attacks, while pen testing is for fixed scope assessments. Third option: both are identical in method, but they differ in reporting style. And the fourth option is automated penetration testing is illegal, while red teaming is not. And 5 seconds to go. Gosh, good job, guys. That was a tricky question. Majority of people had it right. Amazing job. 21 people. Amazing. Ahmed, man. You're the star. Ahmed Abdul Wahid, you're charging. That's awesome. Let's see. I think now it is the last question. What is the popular open source repository for AI LLM models? Is it GitHub? Is it Docker? Is it Hugging Face or Kubernetes? Music is still fun. Five minutes and less to. This is the last question. 17 people got it right. I know GitHub is a bit confusing, but Hugging Face is the most popular one. As Nick said, it has like, I don't know, 1.8 million algorithms. that are ready to use. Open source, it's the most popular one, definitely more than GitHub, but good job, guys. Let's see what happened to the scores. And in the third place, Ahmed Bakhit. Oh man, you went down to third place, Ahmed. Second place is Nishad. And the first place, our star today under the spotlight, is Ahmed Abdul Wahid. Man, Ahmed, you made it. You made it, Ahmed Abdul Wahid. Awesome job. And Bala and Ahmed, you were doing well. You were so close, as Kahoot just showed you. Congratulations for the winners. Congratulations for the winners. Awesome job. You all did a great job. Ahmed Bakhit, you were doing very well. Nishad, amazing. Ahmed Abdul Wahid, everyone else. I'm so proud of everyone because you really learned a lot from this webinar and you really did a great job in answering the questions correctly. For the three winners, please reach out to us using our contacts. I'm going to put it in chat. So because we need your address, like physical addresses, to be able to ship those Apple Watches. Congratulations for winning. Special thanks to every single person that attended our webinar today. You made it. It wouldn't been so much fun without you. It's because of you. And special thanks to our panelists. Mr. Nam left, but special thanks to him. Please, Peter, pass our regards. Dr. Estes, you added a great value to our webinar today. And Nick, as always, you're our star. Thank you so much, everyone. Looking forward to see you again in our next webinar. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks all.
Thanks all.
Yes.